her.
Hello, I am Eric Davis with the crew from Alita Battle Angel. We have producer Jon Landau, director Robert Rodriguez, and the stars, Rosa Salazar, Keean Johnson. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
We're bringing it up.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I actually was lucky enough to be at Troublemaker and saw some of the footage of the film, and it looks awesome. And so let's start. Jon, I'll ask you. This is a project that's been simmering for many years. And I'm curious about why now? Why is right now the right time to make Alita Battle Angel movie?
Well, right now is the right time because this is about a girl who becomes a woman and takes action. It is so ripe for the time. It is a hero's journey, but a relatable hero. She doesn't come into this world with superpowers. She comes in not knowing anything about herself, and it's a journey of self-discovery. And along the way, she thinks of herself at first as an insignificant girl, but she realizes even she has the ability to make a difference. And I think that's an important message for everybody.
Yeah, that was it. Now, Robert, at what point, because you go way back with James Cameron, this was originally a James Cameron, he was going to direct it, he was very heavily involved. You go way back with him.
Yeah, since before Desperado, I have known Jim.
At what point were you like, let me take a crack at Alita and let's...
I never thought that was a possibility. He's like Quentin in that way. They don't write scripts for other people to direct. They're for them to direct. Yeah. And I'd always seen him attached to this project. And when I first saw it announced that he had gotten the rights back in 1999, I purposely stayed away from the material so I wouldn't know how it ends or what the story is. I wanted to go in fresh. So it was only out of just a conversation of me just being a curious fan when he said he was going to be just concentrating on avatars, that I thought, well, what happens to... I've been waiting forever for like Alita Battle Angel. When does that not get made? He goes, no, it doesn't get made unless if you figure out the script, you can do it. Because we'd been looking for things to work with together for years. And so I'll go check it out right now. Took it home, looked at it, and it was all there. I mean, he never got a chance to finish editing it down. He'd written a draft, he'd written 600 pages of notes, and it just, all the characters spoke to me. I identified with Alita, I identified with a Hugo character, I identified with a father figure, and that's just his magic, is he can find a way to make a story very universal, with very universal themes, and then add spectacle, and then add, Jim Cameron level world building, but it starts from a place of the heart. And I just said, man, what do I have to do to work on this thing? And he said, you're ready, take it, let's go.
Right on.
We cranked on it.
Now, so Rosa, I know you were telling a story last night, Robert, about watching her audition and how it brought tears to your eyes and to your wife. And I want to know about what was this audition and how did it play out? And so from your perspective.
Well, it was a very small room, and I walked in and there was an electric chemistry right off the bat. We said hi, and we were both like, hi. And we were like buzzing with electricity. We're both that kind of creative. And I have a viewpoint on auditions where it's like a 2-minute play starring me. And with the phenomenal sides that were written by James Cameron, you could create something, a small performance, and I just got really invested, and then he was really in it, and we were just so in it, and we both cried.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then when she left, I went back and watched the tape. Say, well, maybe there was just something in the room, because maybe sometimes somebody has a very strong power in a room, and it doesn't translate to the tape, which is very important. It's almost more important to be good on tape than in person, because it's not theater. People are going to see it on tape. Yeah. So it was there too. Then I sent it to Jim, and he was crying. And it's like, and I think it's because of that also what she just said. It was a play starring her, and she gave it all of her power and all of her strength, and she does that even when she's not on camera and she's feeding the other actor their line. She's in it in a way that is purely Alita. She was that character, and you don't always get that. You always hope the character just walks in the room, the perfect person to play it. It happened this time, and when that happens, you just got to double down on that and go, well, let's go. Right on. And she's just that person.
Thank
kind of
you.
person.
And I just want to send a message to all of the young girls out there that you can make grown men cry. I just want you to know that. You can bring them to tears.
Because you identify with the humanity in it. It has nothing to do with gender. It's like, I can feel where she's coming from. I can see the sense of her being lost in this world and finding her power, and you see her overcome. And that's, you want that for your life.
Yeah.
Keean, how did you get involved? First of all, tell us about your character and also how you got involved in the film.
Yeah, well, to start out how I got involved, I auditioned, I think I went in for a casting associate office. It said Untitled, James Cameron, Robert Rodriguez, I was like, wow, okay, like that's a big one. So I go in for the audition and just read and left, and that was it. And then a few months later, I heard that Robert wanted to meet with me, and I went into the room and met with him and did one audition, and I was like, wow, that was incredible. I left. I was like, regardless of what happened, that was such an incredible time. I think that was my very first director's meeting. Like I had never met a director before. And then I met with him again, and I was like, okay, I might actually have a shot at this thing. And then when I went to test, I just felt so comfortable on the set, and it just felt so right. And then I was lucky enough to get a call, and Robert sent me an email with, the subject was just guess what? And it was just a picture of the manga script of me, my character Hugo, kissing Alita's character. And then I was like, all right. And then a week later, I was on set and working with, the best actors and best director and best writer in the world. So, it was such an incredible, whirlwind, from going from, working on TV here and there to working on one of the biggest movies being shot, I guess ever.
It's always fun trying to cast like a cool character, like the guy who's supposed to be the cool guy in the movie. Because a lot of, sometimes actors will come in and they're playing cool. But this guy just was cool. He had this long hair. His hair was really long then, and he was just so unassuming. And he was just like, hey, I'd want to be that guy if I was in that town. I'd be looking up to that guy. But it's not an acted thing. It's like something that just comes naturally. And so that's just really hard to create. You kind of have to be that guy, and that's who he was.
And what was it like making this movie at Troublemaker? I imagine most of it or all of it was shot there in Austin and like away from Hollywood. Like, so what's that process like, and how is it different from a traditional movie like in Hollywood?
Well, it was the most beautiful drive to work every single day, driving around Texas and driving out. There's a big hall of trees, and you show up and you see the city behind, and it's gorgeous. Every hour of the day, it's just beautiful, and we use a lot of that Texas light.
Yeah, and
in that
it's
city.
inspiring. There's a lot of artists here who are working on a movie of this scale for the first time, so they're not jaded at all by, it's another big movie. It's more like they really want it, and they really want to prove themselves. So that attitude, that electricity really translates to everything. You see it in the sets, you see it in the design, you see it in the crew, you see it in everyone's faces as they're making something really special and it really investing in it. And it's not like there'll be another gig like this next month. It's like this is a once in a lifetime chance.
Everyone had that special feeling.
So I like that energy. I like that.
And I think what Robert's crew brought to the table was not just a technical level of proficiency, whether it be at design or construction, but they brought a passion. And I think that was infectious among everybody. The pride they took in what they were working on and what they were creating really made for a great environment.
Yeah, and a lot of them had been working with Robert for the last 15 years.
More,
and it was a well-oiled machine, a happy machine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to do a little rapid fire this or that from the movie-going experience, because that's my big thing. And so, in theaters or at home?
In theaters.
Yeah.
In theaters.
Best.
I have a feeling I know the answer to this one, but 2D or 3D?
3D.
Both.
Yeah, you're working with Cameron on this, and does the 3D push the limits of what we've seen before? Like, does this film go
a lot of movies now, surprisingly, most of the 3D movies are converted now. We shoot 3D.
We
this
shot
is like
it in 3D.
with the big double rig, and it's a different thing. It's a real 3D. And you can tell the difference. When you watch it, people go, the 3D is amazing. Well, because it was actually shot 3D. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Well, and you're able to use 3D monitors as well. So there's points when I would be getting off. There was a point where I'd get off a motorcycle. It's in the trailer, getting on the motorcycle and pulling out. And Robert's like, "Hey, come into the Video Village really quickly." And I go in. He's like, "Here, put the 3D glasses on." Then he puts on some like epic music, and I'm watching playback in 3D, getting on the motorcycle, and it's just like you're there. You already feel like you're watching the movie before all the effects have gone through.
We had like 3 huge houses where it was like having 3 actual film crews. We had Weta, we had everyone from the digital effects side, we had the 3D people, we had Bill Pope, we had just a normal film crew, and it was huge. We were a big family.
And the other thing about 3D, Robert actually filmed a feature film in 3D before Jim did. Because he did Spy Kids 3D.
We're the 3D guys.
Before we ever did Avatar, and he used Jim's camera system. So Robert brings a familiarity with 3D and understanding that 3D is not a gimmick. 3D is about creating a more engaging experience,
Immersive.
immersive
Immersive
experience.
feeling like you're
It's a
there.
window into a world, not a world coming out of a window. And that's, I think, what people will see.
Yeah.
All right, so popcorn or candy?
Raisinets.
Candy in popcorn.
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 Right, this one says a lot about who you are as a person. Twizzlers or Red Vines?
Twizzlers.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he already gave it away.
One
Just
of
say
those.
Twizzlers. Yes. He's not gonna be like, you're gonna be Red Vines.
I make my own
No.
snacks actually.
Yeah. He makes a lot of
best chocolate.
epic snacks, chocolates in the shapes of skulls, and you open it, there's like another chocolate melting in there. It's crazy. It's like his movies in a chocolate.
There's a scene in the movie where
Actually, this
Alita,
is-
Hugo takes Alita on his gyro bike to taste chocolate for the first time.
I
She
made
picks up this book. Robert made the chocolate.
It's Iron City chocolate.
I know, and I was like, I had committed to doing it, then it's like the night before filming, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta make chocolate tonight.
I had like 6
God,
every
I
take I was
forgot I
eating it. They were
gotta
like, Rosa, don't eat it. And I was like, okay.
May you stay.